Yo, what's good, man? Cigar Rock here, man. Chillin', man. Yo, watching Champagne.
What's up, yo? This is Big Meth right here. And y'all watching Champagne.
Jerv, stand up. It's your boy Sheik Luch, LOX, D-Block, man. Champagne TV, you already know. I'm gonna be hosting like game shows and shit on that shit.
What's up? This is your girl, Digga, birth name Rashid, and you are watching Champagne.
This is Red Man. I'm in the building. You already know. Shout out to the Champagne Room Radio Show, baby.
Y'all, this is Can't Go Kid from legendary rap group UTFO. And what you're doing right now is you're checking out the Champagne Room Radio Show. You heard?
Yo, this your boy Chris Rock from the old 50 Ball. When I'm out chilling, I'm chilling at the Champagne Room Radio with Tanya Champagne, getting it in Brick City style.
Yeah, what's up? This Finger Trench here, nip, naughty nation, naughty by nature, doing it. Yo, you better check out the Champagne Room, cause we doing over my mama T. Yo, and it's gonna be real on and popping, yo. Ask somebody, yo. Can't take you nowhere, that's why I take your ass everywhere. Tune in.
Welcome to the Champagne Room. Relax, I got you. Have you ever closed your eyes and gone to a special place in your mind? Can I take you there? Relax, let down your guard, unwind. It's been a long day and I know you deserve to feel good. So let's sip some champagne and take away the day before I make you feel like you should. Baby, I just wanna welcome you, welcome you. Baby, I just wanna welcome you to the Champagne Room. Every Thursday from 7 to 9, 7 to 9. I'll be waiting for you, just come inside, come inside. Tonight, we can drink and drive on some red lights. Tonight, we can drink and drive on some red lights. And champagne, champagne, boom, oh, champagne, champagne, boom, oh.
We are here, we are here, we are here. What's good, y'all? Y'all already know. You're tuned in to the Champagne Room Radio Show with your girl, Tanya Champagne, and my co-host, Mina Black, over there. I'm not even gonna put the camera on her right now because y'all need to be to that with the person that's here, because y'all ain't gonna believe who we got here on the Champagne Room Radio Show today. Before we start, you already know what we do. We gotta say thank you to the Lord up above for bringing us through another day, another hour, another minute, another second. I don't know why I'm hearing some static. Where's that static coming from? I'm not appreciating the static. We don't do static. Was that you, Lord? That might have been God saying, y'all better behave yourself tonight. But we are definitely
God,
here.
we can't promise that.
Yes, we gonna be good, God. We gonna be good. We gonna be good. But
can't
again, look, Mina can't make no promises. But we are here. We want to say thank you to everyone who is watching. All of you who want to call in 973-901-9646. Again, it's 973-901-9646. And you guys can actually call in and speak to Mr. Jahjah Shakur, who we have in the building. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up, up. Yes. Jahjah Shakur is in the building. Dr. Jahjah Shakur is in the building.
Is there a doctor in the house?
Over there with Mina. Go on, Mina, take it over.
What's up?
What's good, John? What's going on?
Everything is good. You know, there's a lot going on in my life.
Okay.
You know, I've been laying low for a minute, but a lot of big things coming in 2017.
Good.
Very powerful international things as well.
All right. That's what we talking about. We want to be a part of some powerful international things too, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what's up. That's what's up. And you already know I've been trying to get you on. I've been trying to get you on here for a minute. I'm like, where is Jah? I'm gonna get Jah on here. I finally got you on here, and you already know you my bro. I love you to death, so you had to be here.
Had to be. It was very cold outside. I said, man, I gotta come out tonight. I was texting you all day, calling you, seeing if it was still gonna go down. But I know you have a big event tomorrow. I was like, just come by.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I wasn't getting your text. You probably was texting the old number.
Probably.
Yeah, I wasn't getting no text. I ain't getting no text from you, Jah. None. Mm-hmm. We gonna check that.
Cool. It's all good. I'm here now.
That's right. So you all right? So Mina, I'm gonna let you start off today.
Oh my God, I was like, I thought maybe. I'm looking, I'm like, is that Jah? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe my eyes deceiving me. Maybe the door is making me think that it's him. Because I'm looking through the glass door. And I came through, I said, it is him.
Yes.
I was like, okay. All right. And you, doctor.
Yes,
okay, what they mean by doctor?
Well, what happened was in 2008, Karis One was working on his book, The Gospel of Hip Hop. It's a spiritual text that deals with the spiritual principles of hip-hop. Mm-hmm. It documents over 45 years of hip-hop in its history, but more than 5,000 and 10,000 years in hip-hop based on the origins of hip-hop, which dates back into Africa. So as he was organizing his book, he needed someone to be his PR person. I became his PR person. Then we went to NYU. He got the opportunity to speak at NYU, and they wanted him to become a teacher at NYU. But he didn't have the time, nor did he live on the East Coast any longer. He lived on the West Coast in Cali. So they were looking for someone to teach at NYU. But before they wanted someone to teach, they wanted somebody to go through their program at NYU called the Clive Davis Institute of Music. So it was an opportunity that I could go to school there for free and get a PhD. So I went and got a PhD through the Temple of Hip Hop at NYU, and that was in 2014. That's how I became a doctor.
Okay, so there is a doctor in the house.
There's definitely a doctor in the house.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And usually people, when they get their degree, they don't usually really stay in the community. Mm-hmm. But I've seen you stay in the community, and that's a good thing.
Definitely.
That's a wonderful thing. We need you guys here. It is wonderful that you guys branch out, but we do need you guys in the community because, a lot of people, like I said, they don't stay in the community. Once they get their PhD or once they get their money, well, they just leave out and forget, where their roots are from.
Definitely.
And like I said, I see you around, you're all over the place. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna say and that's a wonderful thing. It's good to stay active in your community. People will remember you. You keep, you have a legacy.
Right.
And you're hands-on, and that's a good thing. You're not about just, you're not about talk.
Right.
You're about, action. And that's what we need in the community. It's not about talking. People say a whole lot of stuff and never make do.
Right.
So it's about action. So if you say, I'm going to work with the kids, we're going to be looking for it.
Right.
We're working with the kids, Mm-hmm. Because, and then the kids are going to be looking for it, mm-hmm. Because children do need, some mentors this day and age. When we was growing up, we was just do our thing. These children need mentors today, mm-hmm. And I'm like, what you do, hip hop's, part of it. Like I said, I know that you work with children also.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So I know you did the Boys and Girls Club,
right.
And you did the after school care or something. I know, John.
Yeah.
I know all that stuff. I know
this.
that. But that's a wonderful thing. Like I said, a wonderful thing.
Right.
And you're not considered, I'm above, I can teach the next person, pass the baton, you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But who's willing to learn and,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what we do on the Champagne Radio Show, we start from the beginning of everything. So I'm gonna ask you, when did you decide that you wanted to even do the whole hip hop thing, and when did you feel that hip hop was just a part of you, in your blood, like?
Wow, that's deep. That's a whole. Wow, you taking me back.
Absolutely.
Good.
Well, actually, what happened was my brother Marvin Williams, better known as MG. He was an artist, and he works with
Hey, Marv. We love Marv.
Corporal, and he works with Rosa International, Storm and Norman from Storm Entertainment. So I grew up in it. I mean, my brother was in it. I used to see him writing in black books, doing graffiti. Had like 25 books. Had about 50 books of rhymes, and he used to tour with Big Daddy Kane and Wu-Tang. He used to do work with Tribe Called Quest.
Right.
And I wanted to be an artist because my brother was an artist, and my brother wanted to become an artist because my father was an artist.
Look at that.
My father was in a singing group called the Superlatives. They used to sing with Kool and the Gang because we from Jersey City, and that's where they started from.
Right.
But one thing I detested, I didn't like, I saw that my brother in his first marriage, he destroyed his marriage because he had bad contracts.
Wow.
And when I saw that, I didn't want no part of being an MC no more. I wanted to go into the business side of it.
Right.
So at the age of 19, in 1990, I graduated from high school, and my brother had a bad contract, so I ended up buying my brother's master's from the manufacturing plant.
Right.
The person who owned the record company, he was down south, so my brother took me to the place where they manufacture his records, and I was like, I'm gonna buy your stuff because I don't like the contract he was in. So I ended up buying the masters, and I became a record executive at age of 19 in 1990.
Okay.
It went from there, from the business side, but I used to break. I used to rap, like I said. I used to.
Okay, I was gonna ask that.
Yeah, I used to do all of that. 1984, my name was J Ski.
J Ski in the house.
That was your name. That was your name.
Yeah,
J Ski.
so I used to rock, man. And then I don't know if y'all know the artist named Albie Al. Albie Al is an independent artist right now from Jersey City. He was facing over 100 years in prison. He ended up doing only 5 for gun possession. But his father, Albie Al, they started the whole MCing, breakdancing. They used to bring Big Daddy Kane and what's his name? Everybody used to be in Jersey City. I used to just love it. I was like, wow, this is what I want to do for a living. I want to do this. And then I just started, following them guys, and I just became, very active. And then I just started studying it on my own. I saw so many artists getting cheated out of record contracts. I started doing research and saw how Run DMC, they was only getting 87 cents an album. The albums back then was $18.99.
Right.
Wow, I want to work with artists to empower the artists. And I started studying, how a Tribe Called Quest was only getting like 53 cents on the album. Some artists was only getting 7 cents on the album. So it was like amazing, how they was being robbed by these major corporations and these companies, because what they do is that they give you an advance, and an advance is something like a bank loan.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You get that bank loan back before you get royalties. Then they get interest upon those royalties. So I was like, nah, this is not right. So I started studying it on my own, started working with artists. Then I met Karis once, started working with him.
Right.
I did some work with Nas, M.O.P., Mobb Deep, Wu-Tang. Worked on a tour called the Rock the Bells tour.
Right.
Worked with Crazy Snoop on his smoke out tours. It was just crazy. So I got a chance to go into Africa, went to Canada, London, England, France. The sad part about it is that, and I tease my family now, and I didn't get a chance to see my family probably for like 10 years at one time.
Wow.
I was traveling the world.
Right.
Well, that's life,
living my dreams.
That's right.
But now when they see me, they're like, "Oh, uncle, you got money, you got this, you got that." I'm like, no, you got to work for your money. Let me show you.
That's right.
I'm gonna teach you how to fish.
Yeah.
That's right.
So that's how I got into it, and then I really started studying my father and what he went through. And unfortunately, he got into the drug game because of the singing game, because it's so abundant in that particular industry where people offer you drugs. And it was a good thing though for me because I never touched drugs because of my father.
Okay.
Seeing him do drugs and dying from AIDS-related complications, from sticking needles, heroin trade, and being an alcoholic. To this day, I don't do no drugs at all.
That's right.
So music industry is a beautiful thing, but I think right now we need to seize the time and seize the moment, and that's why the Champagne Room is so important. What she's doing here at the record club, because it's independent and it's worldwide.
Right.
And this is just a powerful thing. We have the power right now as music industry executives, and seeing what you have done over the last 20 plus years. I used to come from Jersey City to Newark and see Tanya Champagne over next door to Symphony Hall. She used to rock with rock over there. Used to have artist showcases and stuff. Used to do her thing, and we're working with Black 45 and Black Galaxy Network, Kaboo, and the whole posse over there. So it just goes back, and then I laugh at these younger cats because, and this is very key. And my last point is that the reason why this show is so important and what you're doing is so important is because a lot of the new artists and new music industry executives who are independents, because I go to these different events, they think they're doing something new. We started this. It was a time when you couldn't even have events over at the Robert Tree Hotel. You couldn't have events over at Symphony Hall. We opened the doors for that. We had to fight for that. They didn't actually give it to us. We had to actually go against these people who looked like us, who was black, who did not believe in what hip-hop could bring to the table. But now hip-hop is a multi-international culture, is a multi-trillion-dollar year culture throughout the world. So basically by me studying that, I teach at Essex County College, created a course called The Business of Hip Hop, The New American Dream, where people could study the business of hip hop from a business and academic position. And in 2017, I'm creating an online independent hip hop school called True School University, where people can study hip hop from a business perspective.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, you already know. I know.
Let's do it.
Yes, I've been. We've been doing events and putting projects together and all kinds of stuff for years. Together. So I happen to personally, know you. So I kind of, and we have conversations. So we kind of know. We know that it's been a lot of shade thrown, towards both of us, So it's Mina, you'll be surprised, baby girl, you'll be surprised, But one thing I love is the fact that you never stop, nothing, regardless of whatever it is, you still just continue to keep going, and you inspire me to, so it's like, we inspire each other, and we watch each other, go through the struggle, but at the same time, it's like, it's a beautiful thing when we get to see each other, at the top and still doing what it is that we do. But, I guess what I want to ask is, how do you see this generation? I was going to ask you that.
Right.
I was going to ask you that, y'all. How do you see this generation? Because right now, just coming and being a part of seeing even the Jersey One Shot event that you're doing with Mark John Jeffries and them, and even coming near, and regardless of where I go and I see Jahjah, she showed me so much love. He just Tiny Champagne is in the building. I'm like, oh my God. I'll be like, Jahjah, there you go, put me on the spot again. But I love that. You know what I'm saying? I love that about him, because at the end of the day, regardless of what, he's always supporting me, always giving me that big up, that high five, even from all the way across the room. So I love him about that. I love that about him. So what do you see happening right now? From the perspective of us actually doing the thing with Kaboo and them, the All I Need Is One Mic, the pipeline. What is the difference between what we used to do and what's going on now?
The difference is that there's a couple of differences. One of the main differences is that now hip-hop is a business.
Right.
And people are engaged in the business of hip-hop, and they're all about the money. They're all about the cash. They're all about the guap. They're all about cash rules everything around me. Craig, get the money. Dollar bill, y'all. But they don't understand the cultural side of it.
Right.
So it's a culture that produces the ability to make money. No culture, no instrument to make money. So you need the culture and you need the money, but when the money is the only pursuit inside of a culture, the culture gets mistranslated, and then people come and rob and steal from the culture without putting anything back into the culture, and that's the difference now. And you have a young generation who don't care anything about the culture. They only care about the money aspect of it. because it's a desperation to get money because of poverty.
Yes.
And poverty breeds desperation, but desperation breeds theft.
Right.
This is what's going on, where people could go and, Little Kim asked this guy, this well-known rapper, to do Biggie lyrics, and he forgot the lyrics. Designer. That's a tragedy, because Biggie is not only was a hip hop artist or a rapper or MC, he's an icon in the history of hip hop in terms of his contribution to the culture of hip hop. And then he had no remorse for it. He just saying, "Oh, my bad, I forgot," blah blah blah. But imagine a rock star perform Mick Jagger or the Beatles and forget the lyrics.
Right.
That person will be in trouble to that culture and may be banned from that culture.
Right.
But there's no repercussions for hip hop because hip hop is not organized yet. And this is what we're doing now that we older, is seeking to organize it. And the generation that came after, the pioneers, which is our generation, has to organize it, because there's a conflict and there's a beef between the pioneers of hip hop, which is another different subject for another time. And we need to discuss that at another time. You want to delve into that, we can, because I don't really care about it.
We can get into whatever we want to get this out there radio station.
So for me personally, when you have pioneers and there's allegations about pornography or homophilia, sexuality with little boys and things of this nature, it's a problem. So for me personally, I studied with these cats and I understand. So it's not a part of the culture, it's just individuals who participate in that behavior. So that when the children see that they could not be protected by the adults, they start to disrespect the adults, but don't disrespect the entire adult population that gave you the ability to be in hip hop. We just have to deal with those who disrespect the culture and disrespect the youth that's now coming up. So I think that we're doing our job. I mean, you teach kids how to, walk the runway, the whole dance team with Dynasty and all that. So we doing our job. I mean, at the Boys and Girls Club, I don't know if y'all familiar with this. A couple of weeks ago, a little young lady and her brother and her mother was murdered in Orange, New Jersey. And the guy stabbed up 6 people in Orange, New Jersey. One of those kids was my kids. And that was very hurtful towards me, because we could see certain things, but it comes a point where some adults defend other adults who they may love, but they should not defend them because they have the potential to harm children and families.
Right.
So that particular case was something that was brought to the attention of us through the Boys and Girls Club, but there's so much you could do outside of the work that you do, because it's a DIFAS case.
Right.
And people don't pursue these DIFAS cases, things of that nature, and unfortunately this kid was murdered. So these are some of the things that, we deal with as youth workers, but the power of hip hop is that hip hop has the ability to heal situations, and this is what I have done with hip hop in terms of the therapy part of hip hop, because music is very therapeutic and things of that nature. So I use hip hop to, heal youth and to heal adults and deal with this pain that we are going through as a community. And who has the ability to do that? I think those individuals who have the foresight and a perception of how to go beyond just music entertainment with hip hop. That's the ability that I have done as a professional in the education field.
Right.
So there's a lot of things. I mean, I could talk about a whole bunch of stuff. I've been involved in a whole
that's
bunch
what
of
you're
stuff.
here for.
I wanted to know where, I'm looking at, like you said, we all looking at hip hop, and to me has taken a turn. And like you said, desperation because of poverty, which, which they don't look at the culture anymore, they're looking at the money. Now, can we say that we have a hand in it? Because the higher ups are actually whispering in their ear, but like you said, the poverty, you know what I'm saying? And it's systematic, so it's actually running hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? So when you have a up and coming young person that's actually hungry for money, and they know they have a talent or skill, lyrical to be a hip hop artist, that can be their way out of poverty. So most likely they're not looking at, my lyrics are talking about killing somebody. This is just how I eat. You get what I'm saying? So where did we, the elders, where do they fall off at? Because I'm saying to myself, it took a turn, and it was so fast. And to tell you the truth, it was so fast we didn't even see it. That was so crazy about it. We didn't even see it, because back then lyrics was about, the battle, rap battles were about, your mother, your clothes, you biting the rhymes. Then after a while it became you hoe, you bitch. Like that shit, that opened the door for other lyrics to just be acceptable. Once they started calling women out their name and this and that, it became. Now, do you know anyone, I don't know if I want to ask them, do you know anyone that actually turned that damn key, opened that door? Who was the artist? I thought maybe it was one artist that I heard one time, and I was like, right after that, it was open season for anything to be said on radio.
Well, this is a deep and controversial topic right here.
Yes.
Could we curse on here?
Absolutely.
I don't curse.
Absolutely.
But I was gonna say a couple of words
Say what
just
you
for
have
reference
to say.
point.
What you want to say?
See, Mina, it's a deep conversation because when I look at Tanya, I see a queen. From what I know of you, you're a queen. But we do have hoes and bitches in society.
Absolutely.
Let me just feel me on this. I don't call a woman that name, but I know that some women, they allow themselves to become hoes for money. They may sell their bodies for money. It doesn't mean that initially or innately they are hoes or naturally they are hoes, but they've been turned out by the whole industry. So then they become a hoe, even though that's not really their nature. So a lot of rappers may talk about the experience of their experience with what we perceive as being the hoe based upon the activities that woman may participate in. But we have men who are hoes too.
Oh, okay.
What?
We have men who are bitches
Hell
too.
yeah.
So just because
They
you
worse.
say though, a woman is they worse.
Yeah, they worse.
They worse. So in terms of this, because we had this debate, I remember we was in Canada and they asked KRS-One a similar question. He was saying that the duty of him as a teacher is to turn a hoe into a queen through his music and through his art, and that's what he has done. But when some of these young men see their mother as being a hoe because she ended up doing whole things to survive, therefore they start to interpret that through their language, because the way in which you treat a woman is the way in which you experience with your mother.
Okay. Well, for me, my perspective, I saw it differently. I didn't see it as the mother part. I'm seeing it as the industry part of it. You got the groupies. You get what I'm saying? And because I've always thought that they were talking about the groupies, but I didn't always believe he was talking about African American. Because I feel like for us, we don't have enough money to go watch them and be in VIP all day. You know what I'm saying? You got all like them NBA players. How many? You can take a handful of black women that can probably get past the. So I'm saying to myself, like, sometimes that can be like a little setup to where behind the scenes, like, damn well you're not talking about us, but if it's coming from us, it's gonna sound like they're talking to us. Right. You get what I'm saying? Because if you think about it, who the hell, like, I'm just gonna be telling you, white people, they be all in that VIP and shit. They all in the VIP.
Look at our eyes,
all in the video. They got enough money to buy those tickets. You get what I'm saying? It's not a lot of many black girls that can actually get behind the scenes with those hip hop artists or NBA players or NFL players.
Well, they can. I mean,
yeah, they can.
You have some that can, and you have some well, you said NBA players. You have some NBA players, some hip hop artists, or some artists, period, that look for that. You can have young ladies coming to see a show, and if they're dressed a certain kind of way, you'll have artists saying, "I want her, I want her." They may see them on cameras. Go get her. Go get her.
Now
bring
listen,
them back.
Bring them back here. That is a selective pick.
No, they're selectively picking them, but you know why? Because they think that these young ladies are hoes.
Yes.
That's why they're being picked.
But I'm saying, like, if these tickets are like $100-something a ticket, and black people, we living in poverty. How many of us are going to actually go see these people and get behind, it'll be a handful of people.
Girl, you'll be surprised.
Because let me tell you this right here. If you looked at Lil Wayne, let me tell you what they said to Lil Wayne. They told him, they asked about him, like, about the racism thing. He said, well, I don't see it.
The Black Lives Matter
thing. The reason why he don't see it because he feel like it's so many white people that come to my damn concert, handful of black people. If you go to their concerts, you look out to the audience,
Yeah.
Man, it be so many white people. You barely see any black people up in there. So I'm just saying, I always felt like they really weren't talking about us, but it's coming from us. So now it looks like they are talking about
You're talking about a lot of different layers as well, because like hip hop is just not confined to black people any longer. It originated as that, but now it has expanded into European communities.
Yes, the Asians are serious about it.
Indian communities, Puerto Rican, Latino, things of that nature. Even Kanye, he sought out Kim Kardashian. I mean, so it's like, you know, like what Tanya is saying is that sometimes the desire for an artist to have that hold, because a woman who is independent, who ain't having that activity happen to her, those are the ones they don't want.
Right. Absolutely.
Because society perceives these particular types of women as being this particular way, and this is what they choose to go into. Now, when it comes to Lil Wayne, I mean, when I look at Lil Wayne, it's kind of funny because there's many different layers with him. First of all, he's a drug addict. He's drinking syrup, you know, and things of that nature. There's another level of it is that he's saying that he's not affected by racism, but it's a known fact that when Katrina happened, they found dynamite residue that blew up the levees that caused the water to come through, and that's what caused the water to come through. This is an actual fact. This is not no theory. This is no conspiracy theory, and this happened in your hood. And why didn't it happen in European hoods? Because they didn't allow that to happen in European hoods. So therefore, he's deluded because he's on drugs. And then this is an individual who was raised up, you know, at the age of 9 years old by a baby, a man who kisses him on the mouth when he's a grown man. So he's confused. And those individuals are participate. In that activity to each their own. But grown men don't go around kissing grown men in the mouth like that unless you participate in the activity.
I don't know.
I mean,
I think to me when you talk, I think when he did his interview, there's some hush going on. Because because Kaepernick, he put it all out there. Yeah. You know, but you have these hip hop artists that are always talking about poverty, always talking about how they struggle, but then as soon as you say, what about Black Lives Matter, or what about the race? Well, I don't know nothing about that. Wait a minute. But weren't you the same one out there slinging dope, trying to make ends meet? Okay, why were you slinging dope? Why? Because you probably couldn't get the job like you would have wanted to take care of your family, so you were slinging dope, or you were doing exactly the same thing you were taught to do. No one taught you to do any better. Why? Because they didn't know any better, or the fact that they couldn't get any better. You get what I'm saying? So in a house, soon you forget that money and those higher ups. I'm telling you, they call it coonery, but I'm just saying, like that right there touched me. You know, when he said, "Oh, well, I don't know about that," like
it's okay. It's okay though, because I mean, for me personally, like I've been talking to a couple of my comrades in education and traveling in the tri-state area. There's a lot of changes that's happening amongst us as black people, but it doesn't make national news. Like everybody's not impoverished being black. We have some very wealthy black people.
And I mean, come the hell out.
You can even look at the mayor of Newark, Ras Baraka. People don't really talk about this, but his father and his mother, they were middle class. Like they ain't raised up in poverty. They grew up in the hood. But his father, international. If you go to Paris, his father like a god in Paris. I've been to Paris. I mean, they look at Mary Baraka, his father, like being a god of poetry, a god of the playwrights. Right now, Raz making over $20-something thousand. His brother is like $100-something thousand. This is public information. They are not impoverished, so everybody's not messed up. Even Sharp James, there's a lot of millionaires here in Newark. You know, because of the Sharp James administration, things like this. So everybody's not messed up. It's just that when people get money, do you look out for those who came from under, who you came and was raised amongst?
Say it again.
Not saying that the ones I announced doesn't do that, but people need to understand that, and this is the reason why
happens to us.
I'm glad Trump won.
When we as African American people, when we
wait.
Hold
up.
I'm glad Trump won, man. I'm glad he won. I didn't vote for him. You know why? He gonna force us to unite.
Yes. What? I said
that. He gonna force us to unite. Like people complained about Barack Obama didn't do a lot. Watch what Trump do.
Let me tell you.
Watch what Trump do.
He was complaining about how the election was going, how he was going to state. I said, let me tell you this right here. What he's doing is he's putting face on racism. Because every state he went to, they came out in droves because they've been hiding underneath. Oh no, we're not racist. Oh no. Y'all just need to get over slavery. That was 100 years ago. But y'all out here still. In Mississippi, having y'all meetings. We can't even walk down the street and have a peaceful meeting. But y'all can sit there with y'all robes on.
Right.
And every time he went to the state to talk to me, they came out in droves. So I said to me, he was like a sacrificial lamb. He was bringing them out. He was letting people know, look, I can say whatever I want to say and still get them out here to come and vote for me. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. But what you said, was exactly what I said. I said, you know what? I'm kind of glad Trump did what I said, because look at us now. Yeah. Look at us now. We have no other choice but to unite. We have no other choice but to try to help each other, to make sure that we come up out of whatever it is he might try to throw up on us. You know what I'm saying? So it seemed like it wasn't a blessing, but in a sense, it's kind of a blessing. It's kind of a blessing.
And we have to look at it
not
like
only that, we have to look at it positively and look at it as a blessing. And then we have to take what it is that's happening and really run with it. We have to really do something with what's going on right now with each other. You know what I'm saying? So we shouldn't. Of course. Now, first of all, I need to say this. I am a Republican. Yes, I'm a Republican, but I did not vote for Trump.
Right.
I'm a Republican, but I didn't vote for Trump. At the same time, don't get mad at me, Republicans, because I didn't vote for Trump. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't. It wasn't in my heart. Like I
didn't vote at all.
I'm a heartfelt person. I'm a type of person that have to feel that this is the right thing to do. I didn't feel that it was the right thing to do. But at the same time, I was always optimistic, and I always had in the back of my head that if he did win, maybe just give him a chance. Maybe just give him a chance and see what he do. He could mess around and wind up being the best president ever, for all we know. We don't know. But if he's not going to do that, then we need to do what we need to do. Because a lot of people are like they're so fearful. Oh my God, yeah, Trump done won. The damn world's gonna come to an end.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think. I say, you know what?
I don't think the world's coming to an end.
We need to come together, and those that know the way, help lead.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because we have been asleep so long.
Yeah.
We have been asleep so long and has been force-fed so much negative. Start with the hip-hop. So much negative. Now there's all these lyrics out there, and these young guys are losing their mind over these lyrics. They losing their minds over these lyrics, because if lyrics can tell you to go out there and shoot somebody, your own brother, that did nothing to you, that's crazy. That's scary. Yeah. So we know right there, like you said, powerful. Music is powerful.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of self-hatred too. Like, there's a lot of bells who don't have fathers. Like, even working with youth, I mean, 95% of the youth that I work with don't fathers.
And why do you think that is?
There's many different layers to it. I think that education plays a factor. Everything starts from home. So there's a lot of home issues. Mothers trying to make ends meet. Because there's no man in the household, so kids end up raising themselves, TV, radio, music, etc. School, I've been in education for 26 years. In school, it does not foster black men to excel in school for the most part, because of their hyperactivity, which has nothing to do with them needing medicine. It has something to do with them being eager learners. And when you have individuals who don't understand the culture of black people, even black people a lot of times don't even understand, then they want to medicate our young boys and put them in special education. And I did a recent study about 4 years ago where it showed that when children are medicated in the special educational school system, those are the majority of the ones who are participating in gangs and criminal activities. So it's something called the school to prison pipeline. So I have a concept called the cradle to the career pipeline, where you get kids from the cradle, just like European and Asian kids, and they propel them to go into certain careers from the cradle. these are some of the ideas that I think that we should initiate for our community, so that we don't have, black boys being participants in crime and violence and going to the prison industrial complex and being, railroaded in that system, which is a system that's growing. It's the fastest growing system in America in terms of economics. So these are different factors that we're going through. I'm very optimistic though. I think that we have the power, but we have to understand that we have the power.
Yes.
A lot of times, like what Tanya was saying, people say, "Oh, Trump won, the world coming in." Well, at one time we was in slavery, and they said the world was coming to an end, and we still survived that. So my thing is, I'm not worried, but we have to get organized, because it's a very important time in the history of America and black people, and even for hip hop. And I personally believe that hip hop has a lot of power that could change the condition of black people and all of humanity as a collective whole. So it's just what we do with it. We have tools that's independent. Like, who would think that
that is the biggest platform?
It's the biggest platform that we have. So who would think in 2016? I'm pretty sure, Tanya, in 1995, 2000, you know, you don't have a radio station
at all.
I mean, back then, we didn't even have Hot 97 back then. We had Kiss FM.
Kiss FM, 98.7.
98.7 FM. Then we had WHBI one time, but now you have
WNJR.
WBAI. But now we have our own radio station. Support it. Come and support it by listening to it, putting up some bread, putting up some money, helping to fundraise. Tomorrow is a big event that she's having. So come support it. So we have the power more than we think we have. It's just that what do we do with the power that we got?
Well, I think for hip hop, it's back. It used to be rock and roll. Now it's hip hop, sex, drugs, and hip hop. Before it was sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Right.
So now it's like sex, drugs, and hip hop. We so disconnected to one another. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So disconnected. Like, he can impregnate her and just walk away, and that's okay. That is some crazy stuff.
Well, actually, that's not hip hop. That's American culture. That's American culture. That's influence in hip hop.
Because think about it. If every time you turn around, you're talking about, oh, I just want a friend. No one's talking about, we want to want. I've noticed something, and so crazy. I look around, I see no bridal shops. You go to white neighborhood, there's so many bridal shops.
Right.
Just getting married. But there's no bridal shops in the urban area. If no one get married, who gives a fuck about somebody? Who care about family?
Right.
I go up there in the white neighborhood, here, a bridal shop here, and a cute little bridal shop over there, and a little boutique over there.
But that's basically culture as a whole. It's not just hip hop culture. That's our culture as a whole. It's
American culture.
Right, exactly.
But at some point we used to be. At one point, regardless of what was going on in the world, whether you had the heroin addict, he was still a father and still in the house.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? An alcoholic mother, they were still in the house with the kids, with the father and stuff like that.
Yeah, but look at what was happening to the family structure when welfare kind of came into play, when they were taking fathers out of the home.
That's true.
When the fathers couldn't be there. Right.
True.
When
That's
it did,
true.
like, think about it. Why would you guys do that? If the man is here, and especially if he's working, why are we being punished? Why can't we have what we need? Although he may be working, he may not be working, much, or even if he's not working, you know what I'm saying? Why would you not want us to have the men in our lives in the household with us and our children?
Go back to slavery. Go back to slavery. That's what they used to do in slavery. They used to get married and part ways
and
after
separate.
that.
Yeah.
And separate them. So they feel like, oh, you guys, because they consider us lazy. I was talking to a foreigner, and I'm not sure if it was years ago, and he had like a computer business, and he said that they are taught that African American people from America are lazy. They teach other cultures about us and that we're lazy. And I said, wow.
Well, it's not really a wow moment.
They came all the way to Africa to come get us, right? To work, right? So now, who the hell was lazy?
Back then, Mina, let's just keep it real. Back then, they weren't lazy. But nowadays, there are a lot of lazy black folks out here. They got on this whole welfare thing, on this assistant thing, and they really And they really just forgot about the fact that we are workers. We are resourceful people.
Right.
We will do what needs to be done to make it. Look at all the things that we have created. Look at all the inventions that we've actually, we did it. You know what I'm saying? But it is so many of us that are so lost, that are so lost in the whole system, the little system thing. You know what I'm saying? That they don't see that it's a problem when you're not getting up and doing something. Why should I have a problem with you because I feel like you're being lazy? I have a problem with that because I know your potential.
Right.
Because there are a lot of us that know you do have the potential to be something, to do something. Granted, we go through a lot. We have a lot of different things that we have to worry about, not only as a people, but just individually, period, within the families, within the workforce. We have a lot of different things that we do have to worry about. But at the end of the day, it's either, and you said it yourself, even with the foster parenting thing, people being coming up in foster homes and stuff like that. It's what you do with it. Just because that was your life at that point in time, it doesn't mean that you now have to go out and rob people.
Right.
You now got to be a thief.
Right.
You now got to be. You
understand
can
and
turn
say
it
it's
around
right.
to positive, but it's according. We have choices. We have choices, and we have to get to the point where we are making the right choices, and a lot of us are not doing that. And all of that blaming other people or other cultures, that don't have anything to No, you as an individual get up and do what you're supposed to do.
That's right.
Look at the man in the mirror.
your children.
Stop pointing fingers.
That's right. Teach your children.
Which is what we have to do. Stop pointing fingers. Do what we're supposed to do. If you do your part, nobody can say anything.
Right.
So, Jahjah, what you think? You think about homeschooling? What you think about homeschooling?
Well, I used to homeschool my son when me and his
yeah.
mother was together. We homeschooled my son for the first probably 7 years of his life. And then when we broke up, we both had to work, so we went to the workforce and we ended up putting them into an independent African-centered school here in North called the Wisdom School that was owned by Frederica Bay. Another subject for another time. So he was there for a long time. And
I did so much stuff at Wisdom.
Right,
oh my God,
yeah. We missed that.
girl,
We missed
Mira,
it. Yeah. So we did a lot of that stuff, and I definitely believe in homeschooling. If you even do the research and study, most children who go to homeschool environments, those are the ones who end up going to college when they're 12, 11 years old. They're much more advanced. Because really, school, and I'm telling you from a PhD, the secret of school is that school initially was for those families who was rich and wealthy. And then it became public school. Private school is not something new. Even charter school is not something new. This is an idea that they was doing in the 1500s, 1600s, 1700s. But now they make it public. It's called public charter schools. So in terms of the private school, in terms of the going back to what you asked about the homeschool, I think homeschool is a great thing. But everything has balance, because one thing that I noticed with the homeschooling, you have to give the social awareness to your kid, because your kid can be isolated away from society. My son is telling you, well, no, we threw him into the ring.
Yes.
I mean, that boy, man, we had events. I mean, I'm looking for him. He on stage dancing. That's part of his homeschooling, though, socialize with people.
Right.
And he's just a community kid. I mean, this dude is a math whiz, straight ace since kindergarten in math. I mean, he's doing advanced calculus right now in 8th grade.
So what about the children that, like you said, everyone, the public system, the schools doesn't want to deal with? They want to, they want to throw them on medicine, give them medicine. And
Right.
stuff. Do you propose that they actually have homeschooling, or because that's scary? You don't want them to keep kicking your child out, because they will love to kick your child out every chance they get.
But the thing with education, is that the parents has to be more involved. Kids spend more time in school with their teachers than with their parents. I mean, the kid could be in school anywhere from 8 to 10 hours a day, even if they go to after-school programs, but they only come home at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, and they're with their parents only for 2-3 hours. So I'm my son's teacher first. They're not taking him to school, and then they're his teacher second. So I'm very engaged and involved, and an engaged and involved father. He's now living in Maryland, but when he was here, I'm in his school 3 times a week. I read to the kids, going to field trips, and I look around when they have 2 other fathers. You know, so that's the challenge. Is you have to take time to engage with your kid. Even with Tanya's daughter, I mean, seeing her involved, I mean, you would think they twins or something. You know what I mean? That Tanya went to school with her.
She's teaching
you know what I mean?
her daughter. She's teaching her. You
So they
get what I'm
together.
saying?
So
Yes.
they together though. So and that's another thing that happened with hip hop is that when we was growing up in the 60s, 70s, and 80s and 90s, we was having home parties with our parents and listen to the same music. Now today, kids don't listen to the same music that their parents do. And the parents don't listen to the same thing. Like me and my son, we sit down and actually listen to what I ain't gonna diss because I don't like the music today. I ain't gonna lie. A lot of stuff I'm like, I'm like, what did they say? Like, what are they talking about? But I listen just to let my son know that I'm still gonna understand what you're talking about. I'm gonna understand what you're into because if you don't, you will lose your kids to the streets.
Right.
Because some of this stuff is subliminal messages that get your kid to do strange things.
Yes, that's
and
what
if
I
you don't
said.
sit down and listen to
That's
the
what I
stuff,
said.
the kid that end up popping mollies,
Yes.
doing perks,
Yes.
doing X, and you like,
Yes.
why you doing that? They're like, it was in the music. You didn't
Exactly,
know.
exactly.
You know, so I listen
They
to
glorify that. They glorify that stuff. And like I said, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That's what they was doing in the heavy metal. You get what I'm saying? A lot of these kids becoming gothic because, you know, the music was telling them to become gothic and be antisocial and stuff like that. So that's why I say a lot of hip hop is, you know, a lot of this stuff, you know, shooting and killing. And they making these children believe that they're invincible and making them believe they're being martyrs by dying prematurely.
I will tell you this though, meaning is that it's not so much hip hop or the music. What has happened with us now with music, African American music is a reflection of our community and our reality. And right now, drugs, violence, and gangs is in our community, so therefore it's placed inside of the music. But the music industry, they use our pain to the gain. And that's what you're talking about. And I agree with you, and I face them all the time. So we're going through a painful situation where disconnect between the youth and the elders. These people study this, it's called psychographics.
Of course.
And they say it's called public relations or publicity. They study it, so they promote the most abject, destructive elements of our culture back to our people instead of the positiveness of our people inside of the music. And this is what you're talking to.
Yes, yes, because I'm like, this is crazy. We went from, you know, to dancing, now it's like, oh, okay, goodness. Like, and it's this one guy, you know, when he came out, I'm not gonna lie, these guys love this guy, but his lyrics was like, and it's cheeky. This young boy came out with this stuff, and I said, woo, it swept the damn urban area like cancer.
It's called drill music.
And and these kids,
But me, I had the opportunity to go to Chicago with KRS-One, and we went into Chief Keef's hood. I understand why. I disagree with the content, but Chicago, over 700 murders in Chicago this year, the highest in the last 11 years that they ever had that particular murder rate that high. If you go into his hood, there's a lot of killings, a lot of murders, a lot of rapes, a lot of gang violence, a lot of unemployment, a lot of illiteracy in the school systems, a lot of dropout rates. So what he's doing is that he's putting what he see in his community inside of his music, and then people could relate to it because that's what they're going through. And it's a sad situation. I mean, he started out when he was like 15, 16 years old. He himself recently moved to California because people was trying to kill him. His own community.
And he said that he's not going back. He said because I think he was like riding a skateboard or something, a little scooter, and you know, he was like, I'm not going back to Chicago because I couldn't do this. He said I couldn't live, so most likely he really couldn't be a kid. You know, so now it's like he's being a kid. He's doing the school, you know, just riding around because a lot of kids want to be kids. You get what I'm saying? But like you said, they see so much in their community, they become the product of their environment. It's nothing else, you know, who else is teaching them? You know, peers, each other, teaching each other, the streets teaching each other.
Well, on a bigger level, what has happened though in hip hop is that hip hoppers haven't created institutions that could sustain hip hop outside of those people who you're talking about, who control it. And this is why, once again, this radio station is so important, because it's independently owned and it's created by someone who is a hip hopper herself.
Yes.
So we have to create institutions like this particular radio station, or like what I'm doing with my online school, and what other people is doing throughout the country, creating the hip hop schools or hip hop libraries or after school programs. Because if we don't create an avenue for our kids to express themselves, like Outspeak here at Outcry, the Hub, if we don't have institutions like this, our kids will go to the streets.
Right.
Because kids is raising themselves, and another factor is that adults want to be kids.
Yes.
I'm not gonna go to a club and pour a $250 bottle on the girl's head. That's dumb. You know, or I'm not chilling with my son and his friends, and we listening to drill music, and I'm dancing, and I'm doing the nay. You know what I mean? That's not what I do. I'm a man at the end of the day. We need people to stand up.
Yeah, I think to me, like, you know, like you said, it seems like it's backwards now. It's like the adults is the kids and the kids is the adults. And it's like the children seem to be so hard to reach these days. It's so hard. And you got to get them when they're very young. And even there's still a slight chance, because you got to go to school with these other kids that are actually doing this and that, and they glorifying and stuff like that. Because you can have a child that's actually, you know, on the straight, good grades, this and that, but they can get with this one person. You know what I'm saying? Get this one kid, and even with a child being a good child and getting the good grades, they can still have so many insecurities within themselves that even when they get to that person, that they think that it's just so popular, that they want to be popular, so they start doing the same things. And you say, well, damn, where did I go wrong? Sometimes it don't have to be the parent. It's just the simple fact that some children just have a lot of insecurities growing up, even in the house, you know what I'm saying? And for whatever reasons, you know, sometimes peer pressure in school is very, very, very heavy. They could be being bullied.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Being bullied. Teachers are bullies too. You get what I'm saying? Your children are there more than they're at home, you know? And sometimes making the child feel uncomfortable, and they get with someone they think is popular, make them feel a little better, make them look a little better, you know what I'm saying? And then before you know it, it's like, damn, this child was on an honor roll. They went from 0 to 100.
Yeah, it can happen. But our kids, we have to understand too, as adults, that our kids are dealing with a lot of things that we weren't dealing with when we were younger. Even with all of the different drugs that's out, even with the over-the-counter drugs that's out. You know, we weren't. They may have been in a household, but we weren't trying to take our mother's drugs and stuff like that. Like, we're not. It's just certain things that we didn't do that they're susceptible to now. You know, which is really which is really, it's kind of you know. And then not only that, it's a lot of mental health issues. A lot of mental health issues going on. But guess what? It don't just start with the kid. There's a lot of mental health issues going on in single parent homes. Whether it's the father or whether it's the mother. I'm not just saying just the mothers, just the women have the problems. It's men that are taking care of their own kids that also have mental health issues. So those things have to actually be addressed, you know, as well. I for one am tired of all the politicians that say they're gonna do something about the whole mental health thing, not doing anything. Because if it's not a problem with the insurance, it's a problem with money. It's always some kind of problem. But in all reality, we do have things we have to deal with, even with all the killings and stuff that's going on. You know, we don't know what's going on with the kids, what they're thinking. You know, how are they feeling? Nobody's really talking to them. They're not talking to anybody about how they're feeling. So they could be going on for years, and they have all of this built up, you know, stuff.
But you know what? They're talking to each other. They're talking to each other, and one person giving bad advice. You know what I'm saying? But they're getting bad advice because, okay, you got a child with a 2-parent household. You have a child with a single-parent household. You have a child that has issues in the household. So they're going to teach that child, when the child with a 2-parent household is going through some change, they're going to teach them some shit. You know what I'm saying? But they don't know because they're trying to survive. So they said, okay, you having this issue, just do it like this. They're not, you know, they're not knowing that they're telling someone something bad. This is how they're surviving. And maybe they think they're helping their friend. You get what I'm saying? But, you know, we was at, China's, we was at this little thing, this shindig earlier this year, and had some politicians in there, and I was disappointed, and I was disappointed to the point where I didn't want to talk after that, because when I needed to talk, because I have a teenage son. So if you want to get to the heart of the community, you need to talk to the people of the community. Right. You can't talk to because I'm going to talk to you because you a politician. I'm going to see what no, talk to me. I'm a mother of a teenage son that lives in the community, and my son is telling me these things. Talk to me. Like you said, they don't know what's going on. They're talking to other politicians. Stop talking to other politicians. Talk to the people. Go talk to that single mother and see what's going on with her child, and what, you know what I'm saying? You will never know. You just going by what the other politician has said. We're gonna get, like you said, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. And that's all they hearing, themselves talking. They just talking themselves talking. No, talk to the. You need to have some community. Where single parents come to. They're having a hard time with their daughter. She keep running away. They're having a hard time with their son. He's coming home high, and he was a good kid at one time. Who's helping those parents deal with that too? Right. You get what I'm saying? We hurt. Parents are hurt because they know we didn't teach our children this. Right. So my child is going another direction, and we're trying to fight with all we can to keep our child from running to the streets, and not only just running but dying. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Now, and the parents are doing their best. Who's talking to the parents? Like you said, the politicians also, we're going to help you. We're going to help you. We're going to help you. No one's sitting our Panthers. Listen, we have meetings, just like you have 8A meetings. We have meetings, come talk to a counselor, come talk to someone, and see how you can help your child get back to where they belong.
Because a lot of people are, let me just say a lot of organizations, if I could say that. A lot of organizations are reaching out to the youth. And y'all know I'm big on youth. Right. A lot of people are reaching out to the youth. But over the years, I've found out there are a lot of parents that you need to reach out to. Yes. It's a lot. We have to get to these parents. First of all, a lot of these parents are kids themselves. Yep. A lot of these parents didn't deal with a lot of things that when they were growing up. Yes. So now they're having kids, and that's just spilling over to their children. Right. So we have to get to a lot of these parents and try to find out what's going on with inside them. That's right. Even with doing the Ladies by Design mentorship program with Tariq here, and hearing the stories of some of the young women that were here, and I'm like, wow, and it's like, to hear a young lady say, I really don't like my mother, but me and my mother don't get along. Or my mother has a problem with me because I'm having sex. Deep. My mother, and I'm like, we gotta find out. My mother's not gonna come here. My mother's not gonna talk to you. My mother's not gonna let you in her house to talk to her. Well, we're gonna keep knocking on the door until she does. Exactly. We're gonna keep knocking on the door until she does, and until we do that, it's not good. Nothing's really gonna change. We're gonna continue to stay in that mindset of blaming everyone else. We have to get to the root of the problem. That's what everything. That's what this Black Lives Matter, with all of this killing and all of this craziness that's going on out here. If you don't get to the root of the problem is never gonna be solved. Everyone is saying what they do, what we should do. Let's march. Let's do this. What's gonna happen after the marches? What's gonna happen after all of this stuff? If we don't do anything to get to the root of the problem and stop talking about problems, if you don't have a solution.
These parents also are glorifying their children being in these gangs and activities and stuff. They're glorifying this because they feel like, oh, my child, everybody know my child, how they call it, had that stain in the street. Some parents they like that. Some parents are active too.
Yeah, that's true.
But y'all already know. I'm transparent with shit. I'm just transparent with shit. Shit. Like let's be realistic. I was part of the whole gang banging.
It's
and
not
all that
funny.
shit.
Right,
Like, yeah, y'all know you so stupid, you gonna laugh. But I mean, come on, let's be
That's
right, exactly. Let's be realistic. I'm a powerful little something though. And that's why a lot of people are afraid of me, because of the fact that I am that powerful. And I don't have to do too much of anything. I never had to do too much of anything. I was always the person, the go-to person. When it came to that right there, I was always the go-to person. I was always one to say, no, do it this way, do it that way. So that's basically what I was doing. But I got to the point when my daughter is who changed me.
There you go.
My daughter is who came to me and said, stop, I don't like that color. Don't buy me that color. I don't like that color, because everything I was buying was the color that I was wearing. It was about colors at this time. Let's be realistic. I don't like that color. I want the opposite color. Well, my daughter is telling me she wants something opposite because of the fact that she knew what her dad and I were doing at this time. She knew what was going on with us, and she was like, like no. So I sat back one day and I'm like, if my daughter is saying this, and it's not like I didn't know, and it's not like I needed extra family. It ain't like I was the one everybody was coming to, like the mother.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it wasn't
Okay.
like I was going out to look to be extra family or nothing like that. They were coming to me because they wanted, I was more of a mother figure to everybody. To all of them.
Right.
So that's basically what was going on. That's where I got the nickname Mama from. You know, because I was always like a mother figure. But when I had my daughter, when my daughter was able to talk, and my daughter has been, I taught my daughter how to move a mouse when she was 2 years old. My daughter been on a computer since she was 2 years old, literally. So my whole thing was, let's go. I'm gonna stop this. What are you gonna do? So I gave him an ultimatum. We either gonna choose our daughter or we gonna choose this life. I choose my daughter. What are you gonna do? He chose that life, and that's why he's where he is today.
Can I ask
you know
you
what
a
I'm saying?
question?
So
what made you choose that life before you had her?
I always had this thing. I've always been a leader. So I've always had this thing where, you know, if I was able to tell you, I want that, or go get that, and you go get it for me, I ran with it. I ran with it. Like, I'm just being honest. I ran with it. I saw that I had a certain kind of power over certain individuals, and I used that. I used that. The difference is now, now when I did finally leave that alone, the difference is now I use that same power for positive, as opposed to negative. Because I did some things. Truthfully, I did some things, but I ain't gonna say I did some things. I created some things to happen. I created some things to happen. You know what I'm saying? I didn't necessarily have to touch anything. I didn't have to do nothing. I had people that was doing it for me. So I was just sitting back and just reaping the benefits of what they were doing. And I saw eventually, that's not right. Because this is not how I grew up. I didn't grow up like this. I grew up the baby of 10. I got 9 other siblings. I'm the baby. I have a very strong support system. I didn't have to do any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But each one of my siblings kind of had each other. Like my sister and I were 6 years apart. She was the youngest for 6 years before I came along. So I kind of was the baby. I kind of grew up still not having like a sibling or a sister that I could just be with. So my friends became my friends outside.
See that?
I adapted to the people outside. My sister and my mother and all of them, you keep bringing home strays. You keep bringing come on to my house to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the type of, that's how I was. But one thing about me, I was always smart. I was always the leader. Nobody could tell me to do nothing I didn't want to do. And I was always led by example. I never drank in my entire life. I never smoked. I never smoked weed, never took drugs, never did any of that. Still to this day, I don't do any of that stuff. But I had friends that did that stuff that I used to try to keep from doing that stuff. Around me, they wouldn't do it. So again, that's another way of me being powerful. I was just that powerful. So when you around me, certain shit you can't do. You not. I don't want you doing. We not doing that because we need to keep a straight. Our mind need to be right at all times. I need to maintain a good mind at all times. Right. So if you're around me, especially if we're going in certain situations, I need you to be on the same page that I'm on. So certain things they couldn't do. So and you'll be surprised because it's a lot of them that were a part of what I was doing, that I was mama to, right now are in City Hall, doing community-based stuff, working, got their own businesses, got people working for them. So eventually I took what I did, but I made it positive. I made it positive. Once that happened with my daughter, I said I'm not doing this anymore. What I'm gonna do is stop this from happening. So I just took it, and that's why I always say it's what you want to do. You have choices. You have choices. I made the choice to not go that route anymore. I'm not doing that anymore. You know what I'm saying?
I have a similar background.
Yeah.
And it wasn't gang related, but it was a lot of drug related. And when I got pregnant with my daughter, I stopped. I said, because I cannot see myself having a baby incarcerated. This baby don't deserve that.
Right.
I said, she don't deserve this. And I had to walk
And I remember
away.
your lifestyle.
I had to leave the money.
I remember.
I had to leave the money behind.
Yeah.
Because I chose my child.
Yeah. You gotta make a decision.
Know, she changed my life. And to look at her today, like she is amazing.
Yes.
And I was young. I was 17. You know, when I conceived her, I was 18 by the time I had her. And she has been the light. I have 2 other children. I love them all. I love them, every last one. No one is favoritism, so none of them can even come to me with that.
That's right. That's
right. Because I can give the middle one $300, and you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you treat the oldest one and the baby. No, the middle one get more money than the oldest and the baby. You know, and like I don't know. And people try to make her feel some type of way. Oh, your mother only do that because you're the middle. She said, I didn't know I was a middle child. She said she didn't even know. She just knows she is one of my kids.
That's
but
right.
I actually gave up that life. I gave up that lifestyle because I knew I was having a baby, and I was like, man, I just can't. I just cannot be ripped away from someone I done carried for 9 months.
Absolutely.
Because I'm telling you, I went bonkers when they wouldn't let me hold her because of my blood pressure was up. So just imagine me being incarcerated and them having I would have went bonkers.
Absolutely.
I would have been sick as hell. You know, because I'm like, I'm gonna carry this baby. I was already in love. You know, so that love for that baby growing on the inside pushed me to actually say, I gotta let this go. You know, but my influence was I had a stepdad.
Hold on 1 second.
Was into drugs. I had a stepfather that was into it heavy, and he was intravenous. You know, and I wouldn't say that I entered into that lifestyle because of him. I think it was just him and my mom was together for a long time, and it became like divorce. So when when they weren't married, it was common law, but when they actually split ways, that took a toll on us. You get what I'm saying? Even though he was doing what he was doing, he was still a man, and he was still a figure for us, and we needed him.
Who that?
All right. Karma.
Who that?
Jock said, who that?
Who that?
Hey, caller. What's going on? You on the air?
Jock, what's the topic?
We're talking about many different things. We're talking about hip hop. We're talking about gang culture influencing hip hop, drugs influencing hip hop, the state of hip hop. whole bunch of things.
Jahjah, you know it's me, right? It's Brian, bro. What's up?
Yo, what's up, B? What's going on, man?
Do your thing, brother.
Yeah, Tanya finally got me over. I supposed to big came over here, but I'm over here now.
Damn right, you was meeting the flag of Italian champagne. It's Friday night. Let's go.
All right, okay.
No doubt, man. You going to the gym tomorrow with my brother?
I'm stuck here tonight. I'm still at work right
Oh,
now.
alright.
And tomorrow I have to go to a fight seminar.
Oh, alright.
I'm doing a lot.
Alright, no doubt.
My thing on the state of hip hop, it needs to be revived. Because right now, the stuff I'm listening to that's out here for the young generation is not for my ears. And it may sound like I'm old, but I'm not. I know good music.
Right.
The stuff right now, I can't do it.
We ain't mad.
You connected to the drill music. Nobody can do that.
We ain't mad at you.
You know, everyone has a right. They know what they love. They know, you know. These children out here, boy, they love that drill music, boy.
Yeah.
See, the only thing.
Quick question. What's your whole stand on today's hip hop music, man? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, for me, it depends. I mean, because you have different aspects of hip hop music today. I mean, you have an underground. I mean, and you have a mainstream that you have some good music. I mean, I love Kendrick Lamar.
Yes.
I love Absat Rocky and the whole ASAP Mob. I like who else? Well, that's we going back to the history.
It's a Hex Clan. J. Cole.
J. Cole. I mean, I like J. Cole. I mean, I love Tech Nine. He's an independent artist out in the Midwest. There's a whole lot of artists who doing their thing independently. Yes. I mean, I'm still rocking the Locks. The Locks is signed actually the Rock Nation with Jay-Z. See, the thing is, Brian, you gotta look at it like this, right? When you look at music has an evolution to it. It can go for the bad or for the good. It's gonna return back to the good because the state of hip hop right now is based upon the state of our community. And the state of our community is in chaos right now, so the music is reflecting that. So what we have to do is that we have to have a better community to have a better music.
That's true.
And once the community changes into a better, and I think like we were discussing earlier tonight, that I didn't vote for Trump, but I'm glad that Trump won. And the reason why I'm glad he won is gonna force us to do better. I mean, you gotta look at his administration. He done hired Ku Klux Klan members to be in his administration. You don't think that pressure is gonna force us to change our lives, to change the condition of our people, and to change, you know, what's going on in our community, in our music, and in our culture? Hopefully, that's the optimistic view that I have for it. Then on another level, we got to look at it like this: Trump won. What if Hillary Clinton would have won? Would have been a difference if she would have won? You got to look at Hillary Clinton, for instance, right? Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton is the ones who created the Three Strikes Law, the RICO Law, where it incarcerated more black men in the history of America than any other president in the history of America. So if she would have won, would it have been a better America for black people? You got to look at it like this. 88% of black people voted for Hillary Clinton. 93% of black women voted for Hillary Clinton. What is she going to do for black women after the election? Even though she lost, she still had power. She was once a senator. Her husband, they told us the country doing speaking engagements. They have foundations. They impact government to this day. So black women need to charge her to the game. What's she going to do for them? Because if she would have got inside of the presidency, would she have had a lot of black women in her cabinet? So, I mean, earlier tonight, Tanya said she was Republican. I ain't mad at her. Actually, black people started the Republican Party.
Actually, a lot of people don't know that.
Okay, they didn't want to set the slaves free.
It was people like Sojourner Truth and Frederick Douglass who helped start the Republican Party. So it's not the party that you're a part of, it's what do you do with the party that you are in.
Come on, Jah.
Because the Democratic Party has definitely done some detrimental things to the black community and humanity as a collective whole. So as we move forward in terms of hip hop, I just think that it will get better as our communities get better.
That's right.
Yes. Right. We have a long way to go, man. But we need to strive, and it need to be speedily. I mean, we need to expedite this. You know what I'm saying? Because this, like, we've been asleep for so long.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Some of us still sleep.
Yeah.
Some of us want to stay asleep.
The biggest issue, though, people don't want to deal with this. I have to really deal with this.
Come on.
is black love.
Yes.
The reason why I'm gonna say this is because when you have black hate, it's reflective in our music and in our culture and in our community.
Yes.
When you have black love, the children is loved, and the children would do better.
Yes.
They would produce better music in the
Yes.
black community.
Yes.
One thing that I'm observing right now is that one of the things that has happened in our community, Brian, is that the love is lost. What has happened is that
the love is lost, but it's like it's on life support.
Yeah.
Say it again. It's not no what support.
It's on life support.
It's on life support.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But we have black love. We have it in the room right now.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely alive and well. And one thing for me, I realized that when a black woman really finds that black love, that union between that black man and that black woman in the household, it would transform the world.
Powerful.
If you study the history of black people in the 1960s and 1950s, 90% of black families was male and females in the household together.
Yes. Yeah.
Now 50% of
Yes.
all black households is controlled by a single black woman with children.
Yep.
50% of all black households has a divorce rate of up to 70% in those households. And look at the condition of our community, because when the absence of the male and the female is not in coherence with one another, they're not parallel to one another, it causes friction in the household.
Yes.
Then it goes into the community. And that is actually what really has happened, is the black families need to come together and change the condition of the family structure.
Exactly.
And then we'll have that revolution.
That's
we're
what I
looking
said.
for.
We so disconnected.
Some hand claps on that.
Yes, and that's what I've been trying to get. That's the point I've been trying to talk about tonight. We are so disconnected from one another as black people. You know that we don't have family reunions like we used to.
We really don't.
You know,
we do,
like
something came up or other
so
person
far
had
and few. I can tell you, I haven't had a family reunion. My family's probably since I was like 5. That's a damn shame, because I could be hugging on my cousin. That's not good. That's not good. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen because the world is small. You get what I'm saying? Like, I could be sitting on my cousin's lap and find out that's my cousin. Who that happened to? He was dating his cousin, the hip hop artist. What's his name?
I don't even know, but a lot of
They got
people
all
dated their cousins.
Yeah, he was having sex with her, and he told her, they was like, you gonna stop? He said, hell no. I didn't know she was my cousin. You know, and that's it. It's wicked. That is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of people out here that still like their cousins.
That's scary. You know, and that's scary because, like I said,
you never know.
You never know. You know,
Yeah, crazy.
that's what I'm saying. I gotta stop having all these babies.
So
So Brian, be cousins or not.
Brian, what do you guys have coming up next?
Well, next year we have the Fearless one with the movie that we just shot this year. That's coming out next year. And I got a few other things coming up. We will be back up there. Me and Anthony Hawkins. We're doing another short film. I can't go into specifics, but you have us back up there by next year.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Can't
That's
wait
what's
to see
up.
you guys. See you on Facebook all the time.
That's what's up.
That's
what's
things
up.
happen. It's just, the last time we had us up there was like around May. So from there, we just trying to do what we keep on doing.
Okay. All right.
Showing support.
Yes.
That's what's up. Well, I hope you guys could make it tomorrow to the event.
If I can, because
Yeah.
I had the invite. If I can get a tour and get down there, boom. Because between me working tonight and leaving here in the morning and go shoot from the Hoboken and back to New York, I'm gonna be a little out of it.
That's right. Yeah, you be doing that overnight thing.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, him and
With the overnight what?
That's they work.
I work overnight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's all on you. This is spur of the moment, but I'm like, okay, I'll take those extra money. No complaint.
But yeah, we need that love back.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So Brian, we definitely appreciate you calling in and showing us love and continuing to support us how you have been. We appreciate you.
I appreciate y'all because I miss being down there. I'm like, damn, I miss Tiny Champagne.
Yes, we here. We here. We ain't going
All right,
nowhere.
Brian, man, it's good hearing from you, man.
Man, good, man. You too. You're doing your positive thing, bro. I feel you, Doc.
Yes.
No
You
doubt.
do what you do best.
Appreciate it, man.
That's right.
Hey, I appreciate you, dude.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All
Talk
right,
to you
man.
soon. Thanks
Talk
for
to you guys later.
calling.
All right.
Have a rest of your night.
All
All
right, you too.
right. Good night.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
Another thing that I think that I'm gonna push forward in the year 2017 is that, like, I had this like little poem I did, it was actually like a little essay, like, who heals the healer, who teaches the teacher, who preaches to the preacher, who reaches to the reacher. What that simply means is that the body of work that we go through, me and you talked about this many times, Tanya, is that the work that we do, we need healing too.
Yes.
Because when you helping people who are sick, their energy transfers into your energy.
Woo, child.
And depending on how strong your energy is,
Yes.
you could become sick like them.
Yes.
Talk about it.
So for me personally, I'm gonna reach out more to people who are doing the healing work because I know I personally need support.
Right.
I go through depression. I go through stress.
Right.
I'm fighting a child custody battle where sometimes it's very stressful because I
Yes.
love my son and he's very estranged from his dad because me and his mother don't get along. It's tough.
Right. Right.
You know, this
Right.
is personal, but it's
talk
real.
about-
Right.
The work that we do, it may seem like we superheroes, which we are, but we have kryptonite too, but the kryptonite
Right.
is ourselves.
Right.
You
Right.
know, so sometimes you got to take that time out with your significant other, turn your phone off, and don't answer it for nobody.
We talk
Do
about
you time.
We talk about the co-parenting too.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, you gotta do
like,
that.
even though
Yeah.
you're not together, the common denominator is the child. You got to come out of your feelings. It didn't work out, and it's okay.
Right.
But the challenge is, Mina, see, now this is deep. We're about to get to a deep conversation, right? What's really deep for me, though, is that when fathers try to co-parent because of the bitter woman, she uses the bitterness of that relationship to use the child to keep that child away from the father, and then uses the child support system as her shield in order to abuse that father, even though that father is a good father, but could be a horrible companion, but he's a great father.
Well, listen, you should have thought about that before you laid it down.
See,
You
people
do
say
what I'm
that, but you don't
saying?
know. But you don't know. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just don't know. And to my point, I didn't know. I mean, in my case, in the other cases,
Okay,
of
can I ask
fathers
you a
who I
question?
mentor,
I don't want
you
to
just
get
don't know.
personal.
No, we get personal.
Like, how long did you know this person before you got that, you know?
I know the person for like 5 years. We was good friends first.
That's a damn shame.
So it happened.
That's scary.
I mean, we was good friends. We've been to
That's
Africa
scary.
more than 10 times. We study spirituality. We have businesses and everything together. I lost everything, the house, car, my son, everything. But I'm good though, because the experience that I went through, it made me realize that you don't put all your energy into a person, you put your energy into God.
Absolutely.
And you can work with a person up to a point because that person had mental issues and I knew that. And I allowed myself to go deep into that person's
Get back
personal
on the mic,
problems.
Ja. Get on the mic. On the
I
mic.
let that person take me into their personal problems, and you don't do that even in relationships. In relationships, you can help somebody up to a certain point, then they need professional help.
Right.
I'm not your psychologist, I'm your man.
Right.
You know, so when you're dealing with a person who got deep emotional and psychological wounds, that person needs professional help, and you can help them. And I did that for that person.
And that put a strain on the relationship.
Put a strain on a relationship.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, like you said, it's about the kids. So for me personally, I'm good. The person could be with anybody. It could be with a horse, a dog, or a man, whoever they want to be with. But don't mess with my kid.
Let me tell you.
That's the
for
point.
me, when me and my kids' father didn't work out, listen, I need my kids to see their father. I knew what it felt like when I had my dad. I didn't want my kids to feel like that. Even if it didn't work out between us, and it's okay. He was angry. But guess what? You gonna see these children. It had nothing to do about me. Oh, I need a week off. I need a day to myself. It was never about that. It was the fact that I know what that energy felt like not
Right.
having a father.
What made him angry though?
Because I left. You know, and I used to drive my son over to see his father. You know, I used to drive him over there. Look, you gonna see your like.
need to be on the mic.
It's not the fact that he didn't want to see his son. It's the fact that he didn't have a vehicle. So guess what? We got to work this out. You know.
How far did he live?
He didn't live far. I lived in Orange at the time. He lived in Irvington. So every Friday I used to take my son to go see, his dad, and my son was okay with that. He was okay with that. I need my kids to be, with their dad and they, active and stuff like that, even if I had to help. I'm not gonna lie, it got frustrated sometimes.
Right.
It got frustrating sometimes, but I felt like if I, like I said, not that he didn't want to see them, but I was like, you know what? Let's just look. My son wants to see his father, so I'm looking at my son. I'm looking through my son's eyes.
Right.
And feeling what my son feels. He wants to go see his father. Okay, I'm gonna take you to see your father.
We should have we should have a special on this. This
Oh
can
yeah,
get real
we could
saucy.
definitely do that. Especially
get real saucy.
since we only got like a good 10 minutes left.
Right.
Yeah.
So we
So
we
the
can
love of
definitely
my,
get into
the
that.
love of my son. I was
this can
listening
get
to my
saucy.
son. I wasn't even listening to. He ain't had no car. Yeah. Okay. My son is crying to see his father. So come on, let's go.
I'm not going to go deep into it because this is a whole different
Get in the
subject for a
car.
different time. But for me personally, Tanya, as you well know, me and my son is like this.
Yes.
Like, see, I have a different situation because I don't drive either. I used to walk in snowstorms to get my son.
He
I
sure
don't
did.
care.
I'm talking about.
Like, I mean,
Plenty of times.
I'll walk, I'll run, I'll go on a bus, a train, whatever, because I didn't have a father in my life. I had a stepfather, but it's different when you don't have your own biological father. And it's deep because my biological brother, they love my biological father, but I love my stepfather. Because my stepfather was there in our life. He didn't talk a lot, but his presence, we always had Christmas, Thanksgiving, everything.
Right,
He never told me that I was not his son, even though we would tell him, leave me alone, you ain't my father. He would come to us and say, I'm your father.
That's
he
right.
never not once told me that. So for me personally, I'm always going to be involved with my son's lives, no matter about them. I curse the child support people out. And the reason why I could do that because I pay willingly. I took myself to child support. And I allowed myself to do that because I know how that system is.
Right.
See, the thing is, overall, what we're talking about in terms of hip hop, this is like metaphysical now. When you know what something is, you cannot beat that which is what it is, what it is. You must face it and deal with it.
That's right.
When you try to run from that which is, that's what causes you to get into problems.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
When you have God inside of you and you have the power of God with you, you don't fear no evil.
That's right.
Because
That's right.
he that's in me is greater than he that's in the world.
But not only that, what
That's
you're doing,
right.
you're making a conscious choice.
Yes.
Also.
Exactly.
You know
Most
what I'm
people
saying?
don't.
You're making a conscious choice to realize, like, this boy needs me. You get what I'm saying? I need to hold his hand in certain situations in life. You making a conscious
Right.
choice. Because, like I said, God does help us.
Right.
But he also gave us wisdom and understanding.
Right.
And you making a conscious choice to be in your son's life.
Right.
It's a conscious choice. And
Right.
your son loves you for that. Because you chose him
Right.
over everything else. You get what
But
I'm
the
saying?
challenge is that his mother consciously uses
I'm just saying,
the love of the father and the son
Yep.
to keep the son away from
Lot
the
of women do
father.
that.
Yep.
And then
Oh, but he
uses-
will grow up one day.
Yeah.
How old is your son?
My son 13.
Okay, he's growing up. And guess what? He's going to see it for what it is
Right.
one day.
But believe me, his son no. 'Cause he
Yeah,
said
yeah.
his son was always with him.
Yeah.
Always.
So that's what I'm saying. So he's
Right.
she can't damage that.
Right,
she
right,
can't
right,
damage
right,
that right there. That's already signed
Right.
and sealed.
Right.
Signed
We
and
definitely
sealed.
gotta have this conversation. The reason why, I mean, I'm gonna end on this note because I know we only got a few more minutes. But we definitely have to have a relationship or like
Absolutely.
something. And the reason why I'm saying
Absolutely.
this is because I don't know if y'all know, but there's a lot of men who cry in the dark because of this issue. It's a book
Oh, yeah.
called Men Cry in the Dark.
Oh yeah.
Right? And the reason why we have to deal with this is because there's a lot of great fathers that's out there who's
Yeah.
dealing with a system that estranged them away from their kids.
Absolutely. We already
And they
said we was gonna
suffering
have
because of it.
That's what we had.
And
We had
even
interviewed
the struggle-
father,
I'm talking about
father,
hard rock
co-
fathers is
father
crying and-
co-parenting.
and- yeah,
I had one of my friends.
It's tough.
Yes, I had one of my friends on Facebook do a interview because he couldn't come in because of his scheduling. He's fighting in the court system to see his two daughters.
Yeah.
This man is crying on Facebook.
Yeah.
How about I just saw another friend on Facebook crying because the woman won't allow him to be in the delivery room while his daughter's being born. She was just born today. Her name is Ava.
Wow.
And he's crying. He said, I didn't have this problem with my other two children. Why am I having this problem?
Right.
He wants to be a part of the child's life. And I'm looking at these women like, oh, y'all crazy?
Right.
Y'all crazy.
Yeah.
But then when Tanya was talking about solutions, it's because a lot of women are in pain, they're hurting. So there's so many different layers in our community, and I'm very I get very sentimental when it comes to women because I'm in touch with that's the Libra in me, with the scales of justice. I think a lot of women have gone through sexism, misogyny, and abuse by men. So therefore, they internalize that and they try to use that pain against men, not really because they really want to hurt the man, because they've been hurt and hurt people. And you have to go through your counseling. I'm gonna keep it honest. I go through. I got friends who are psychotherapists. Not that I'm crazy, but all of us need therapy.
Yes.
We face. I mean,
I know I need some.
When we leave here as black men, we face police brutality.
Ain't no shame in my game.
We face racism. We face all kind of crazy shit when we leave. You know what I mean? Each other. So we definitely all need some form of therapy. And I think that black people in particular fears going to therapy because they think that something is wrong with them. And that's my experience when I deal with women. Even for the sense where, like, women who I'm friends with or women who I've dated, when they find out you're a black man with a doctor, I don't believe that. Then when I show them the certificate, I can't date you because I'm used to dating these wild men. I don't want to cause no problem. What are you talking about? It's a piece of paper. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like all these different psychosis that we go through as black men and black women, and then we take it out on each other rather than coming to each other to heal each other. And that's what we need to do.
Because like I said, the common denominator is the child.
Yeah.
Because we as adults, we can get into our feelings to the point where we're still battling each other. We don't even realize that battle should be over a long time ago. You get what I'm saying? You gotta accept the fact that shit happens.
Yeah.
And you gotta accept the fact that you guys may not ever come together again, but you created the most beautiful thing. You out of that relationship, look at it like that.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? You looking at the negative. No, look at the positive. Look what we created.
Right.
Look at this right here. We didn't work out. We had some ugly nights and some fucked up fights.
Right.
But look what we created. And guess what? To keep our child from having to deal with our mental issues.
Right.
Okay? Because if we going back and forth and we pulling on the child, and the damn child gonna try to feel like, now they gonna make the child gonna feel like, I gotta choose daddy now because daddy feeling upset because he feel like I'm choosing mommy. Who the fuck told you to do that? That's messed up. You don't have conversations with children when y'all going through. Don't have adult conversations with children. If you gonna have an argument, disagreement, you take that shit in the room. Even if you're in a relationship. You get what I'm saying? And what I don't like is, like,
it definitely affects
me and that dad is not together, me and that dad's not together, you as a person in my life, this is why me and my ex not together. Okay? This is why we're not together. Because you know what? It was something about him, that was some evil shit. He was evil as fuck. Okay? Because when I tell him not to argue with me in front of my children, damn it, I mean that. Okay? I mean that because you know why? What you're trying to do is you're trying to put some shit in my kids that's not there. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. For one, when you long gone, because now he's gone. Okay? When you long gone, my kids gonna have these effed up images about you and your effed up personality. And there we go again, because he wasn't brought up in a home, he brought up in a group home, so he don't know what a family feels like. I tried to be there for him, he took me through, gotta go. Because now you fucking my children up. You gotta go, bro.
John cracking up
because you messing my children up.
So passionate.
Yeah, you messing my children head up. Okay, you all angry as shit. Now my kid's angry. Now my kid's angry. My son's angry, walking around angry because you angry. And he sees his anger in you. He don't even see it in his own father.
Yeah.
No, we got
it does. It does affect the children.
Yes.
You know, they don't want to hear. Especially if the man is not their father. They don't want to hear another man yelling
at their mother.
Know, even if your mother is the one that may initiated the yelling. You know, they just don't want to hear that. It does affect them. You know, and it's not good.
Yes.
It's not good to argue around your kids. It
And
doesn't matter how old they are either.
Yes, I used to tell them. I used to say,
them.
listen, don't argue with. Look, you got something to say to me? Let's go talk in the car. Let's go walk down the street. Let's go in the room, and we could talk it out. I saw he was trying to really argue in front of my kids. I guess he felt like, oh, you care more about your kids. I do, bitch. And he tells me to this day.
That's that forever love.
That's the
that
reason
ain't going nowhere.
He told me one day, inboxed me after he mad because he goes on a rampage, having a rant on my page. I had to go in inbox and say, hey, you're not doing that shit, okay? Get the fuck off my page with that. And he was like, be honest, your kids, your kids broke us up. We're not gonna talk about this. I said, we're not gonna talk about this. That is over. And you said you're happy, right? Okay, so why are we talking about it? My kids didn't break us up. I told him one day, I'm gonna get him and my son got into a disagreement. And reason why him and my son got into disagreement because he got in my face. Okay, so my son was like, it's about to be some consequences. Right. So I told him, okay, guys, you go, because it was heated. My son went in his room, and he went in the bedroom, our bedroom. He came out. I said, listen, can you just go in there because y'all still mumbling amongst each other. Right. It's gonna get heated again. Right. Well, I can go anywhere. I said, let me tell you this right here. I'm gonna say this on the microphone. I said, you put your hand on my son. You know what it is. Yeah. You know what it is. It's over. Yeah. Our relationship is over. Hey, our marriage is over. Right. Married, it's over. You put your hand on my son, you know whose side I'm on. Because I asked you to go in the room and sit down and calm down. Right. So since you want to be an ass about it, it's about to get anal up in here. Right. Because he would have put his hands on my son. Yeah. And not only just that, he really needed to go, is because he didn't like our connection that bad to where he was provoking us to hurt him. To where if I hit him, or if anybody of my kids hit him, he can call the cops and send one of us off. He wanted to break our family up because he don't know what it felt like to be a family, so he didn't give a fuck about breaking my family up.
That's real talk.
So guess what? Guess who had to go? Bye-bye. But you know what's so crazy? He walked out. He left. But God is good. What are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
God did something I couldn't do. He walked out, and to this day, I left you. Good. I'm glad. Thank you. He on Facebook talking about it. So?
That's childish.
So? Yeah. Do it look like I kid? You see my Facebook? Do it look like I'm sad? Can't you tell I moved on by every picture? Every picture you see. Can't you tell I'm happy and I moved on? He was evil. Fucking evil.
Yeah,
so
some people are. Some people are.
Oh God. When I say evil, we couldn't go fucking a month without having 10 or 20 arguments. Come on. He was messing up my psyche.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? The people had to ask me, is he bipolar? I think so. So like you said, his life situations, he was angry at them taking that on me. That was wrong. I said, you need to go back and talk to them. You need to lay on somebody's couch or something and talk to them.
Well, what happens, hurt people, but the ones who they hurt is the ones who's closest to them and the ones that love them versus the ones who hurt them.
Exactly.
They don't go after the ones who hurt them. They go after the ones who they
Exactly. His mother and father left him behind in the damn shelter.
I need you. I can give that shit an explosion. I need to get that an explosion. I need you to say that shit again.
I said hurt people who hurt people who love them or who are close to them, but hurt people don't go to hurt people who hurt them.
Exactly. And I needed him to do that.
Exactly.
Okay? Because we went to go see his mother one day. I said, this is the time you need to talk to her. You know, his father left him, when he got taken from his mother, the other kids got, put in foster care and someone raised them, adopted them and raised them. He was the only one that grew up in the foster care until he was 18. Your father left you there, I didn't. Your mama left you there, I didn't. So don't come in my family and try to destroy me and my. You mad because I'm a good mother, or you mad because I show my children attention? Is that what it is?
From his mother. Yeah.
And that goes back again to all mental health issues.
She was on drugs.
It's bigger than a lot of people want to say it is. A lot of people know it. It's not like they don't know it. It's just that a lot of people are not trying to address that issue. Yeah. But that is definitely an issue.
Yeah. And how he was conceived was even some craziness because his father was married. So he was a hidden child. And he was so hidden to where when he was put in foster care, his father knew he was there. No one came for him, you know, and so he was all messed up, you know.
See, this
I mean, I dealt with it.
This is what I'm talking about in terms of the music now. When we talk about hip hop, that individual who you're talking about is the Chief Keefs. It's the Young Thugs, and this is why the music is what it is today. Because when we was growing up, we didn't have to go to foster care because we had an extended family.
Right.
Every Saturday and Sunday at my house, we had everybody in my house.
Auntie,
drugs,
uncle,
writers,
that's
aunties,
right.
uncles.
That's right.
Nobody wasn't selling no drugs, doing no drugs, but they was in my
Right.
house.
That's right.
You know, we was having a great time watching football. Girls was playing jacks and
Yep.
jump rope and everything. But now today, the foster care system take our kids because we not taking our kids. And then they putting that into the music, they putting it into the fashion, they putting it into the internet, technology, social media. And
let me tell you what else they do. I know someone that had a foster case. So like say if a couple, a young lady lost her children because she was dating a guy that threw the new baby into the windshield of the car. They told her to leave him alone. If you don't leave him alone, we're gonna take your kids. But she also has a prior child with someone else. Now, the prior child family wanted him, and the little girl family wanted her. But they were telling the son's family that in order for you to get him, you got to take her. But the two fathers don't get along.
They didn't want to separate them.
They didn't want to separate them. But guess what? I'm sorry, they already got two fathers. They already separated, and they already got two fathers. So when you got in trouble with diapers, eventually you knew that, you know what I'm saying? So they wanted, I felt like, look, at least someone wanted them. Okay? Even if the little girl had to go to her family just for a moment, and the little boy had to go to his family just for a moment. You get what I'm saying? So now they both had to go to strangers.
Yeah.
Did it make sense?
Yeah. But that's what they
I'd
do.
rather for y'all to go to family than to go to a stranger. That didn't make sense.
But
Because
that's what
they wanted the little girl, but they didn't want the little boy. Isn't that something? And it was vice versa.
Well, it happens. At the end of the day, again, it's healing. We just really need healing in the communities and you know, within our race, within our culture. It's just we really need a lot of healing. We need to go through a healing process. But I mean, again, it kind of starts with the root. You know, we have to get to the root of the problems. But I mean, we could talk about this forever.
Topics.
And it's almost 11:30, so you know we got it's getting late. But I mean, Jah, if anything, could you give you know, some last words, some you know, what encouraging words or anything, and then let us know you know, how we can find you, what you have going on, and those things of that nature.
Well, I want to tell everyone out there to continue to be the best you that you could be. Have the courage to be you. Don't be no one else.
That's right.
Also, continue to support independent media like the Champagne Room here in Newark, New Jersey. Support it. Definitely support it. They're definitely having a big event tomorrow. 2017 is going to be a big year. There's a lot of interesting things that's going on, but you have to find your purpose, do your purpose, manifest your greatness, because everybody has greatness inside of them. You have to find it, you have to manifest it, you have to be it. You definitely find me at jahjahshakur.com. That's jahjahshakur.com, or trueschooluniversity.com. That's my independent online hip-hop business development school. I'm looking to develop 10,000 new hip-hop businesses in the next 10 years to eliminate poverty, increase wealth through business development, wealth creation strategies. And you can go to gofundme.com/hip-hop business. That's gofundme.com/hip-hop business. I got a fundraising campaign to raise money for my independent online school. Continue to support hip-hop, man. Hip-hop has many different challenges, just like America and the rest of, national, international cultures, but hip-hop is an international culture. I have traveled the world, and I know that hip-hop plays a large, positive, productive, and peaceful role in people's lives, like myself and others. So let's unite, come together, and manifest a better, positive, peaceful, and productive world. Peace, y'all.
That's
All right,
what's up.
all
That's
right,
what's
all
up.
right.
Mina, you know you got to say your
Oh,
goodbyes.
MG, this has been an amazing interview. Oh my God. You know, especially when it comes down to talking about the community. I'm for it all. I'm for all the community. I love, some hip hop and I love R&B.
Right.
But when it comes down to my black people and my community, I love my people. I'm hurt what's going on with us, and thank God we have someone that, that is also sincere. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, it's so much negative going on. You don't know who's real anymore.
Yeah.
You don't know who's wanna, people say they wanna help, and you be waiting forever. Shit never get done. Mess with some people.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Jahjah.
Jahjah is laughing at me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being passionate. Being a great dad, being a great mentor, being a great inspiration, to the young people. Keep doing what you're doing. May God bless you in every endeavor. You get what I'm saying? And doors open, to things that you never thought would happen. You get what I'm saying? That they see the work in you. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So we need people like you. We need you. We need
Okay,
you.
all right. That's
All
what's
right.
up. Did you say hey to the Ustream?
Thank you, Ustream.
I don't know exactly what that means, Ustream. I don't know what that meant, but I guess that meant hey.
I mean, mum's the word because I'm sorry.
No.
But I always have a wonder. I always thank her. She could have chose someone else to sit in this seat. She chose me. Thank you so much, Sugar.
Absolutely. You already know. Love you. Jahjah Shakur, thank you very much for being here. I am so
made him flame
honored.
on.
Yes. Matter of fact, you got a poem to say right fast? Because we gonna make this.
Let me give a little smidgen.
Just, all right, we're gonna let you do it. Let's let y'all do that before I say my
Yes.
They're taking me back.
Yes,
come on.
Back in time.
Some
All right.
things is old to you, new to us.
That's right.
Come on.
I said, your past is your history. Your future is a mystery. Your presence in the present is how you achieve true victory. Many be wishing we fall on off. I come to save a generation that's really not lost. So, what are you going to do today? You going to sit around, do work, or you going to wait for Jesus to come by to pray? You going to pray for yourself or pray for your team? We must help our children instead of chasing that cream. Money is not everything that you could achieve in the world. We must raise up our little boys and we must help little girls. People dying, mothers crying, fathers sighing, while people in schoolhouses are lying, giving false messages through history. But you must remember that is really not a mystery. If you really want to see things much clearer, you must realize that God is not up in the sky. God is in your mirror. Peace.
Woo! Yes! Yes! Yes. Wonderful. God is in your mirror.
Absolutely.
You
absolutely.
are. That's right.
That was dope. That was dope. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we do
And
here.
God is in your
That's
mirror.
what
Why? That
we
means
do.
you making conscious choices.
That's right. And that's what we do here on the Champagne Radio Show on GS Radio North. Y'all already know. It's your girl Tanya Champagne with your girl Mina Black, and we had our guest here, Jahjah Shakur. I'm so happy, so happy that y'all. Oh yeah, wave again because they ain't see y'all. And then there you go. So yeah, y'all already know how I do. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for being here on Ustream. I love you all 152 plus countries that are watching. Love you. We got to get ready to get out of here. We got to actually take some of this stuff out of here because we're doing a live broadcast tomorrow. Let me let y'all see this flyer. It goes down tomorrow at Sheba Lounge, 593 Springfield Avenue in Newark, New Jersey. Our 1 year anniversary for GS Radio Newark. We're having a toy drive that is going to be for our December 17th event at Boylan Street Recreation Center. So we're asking everyone that's coming to this event tomorrow evening. It starts at 6 p.m. We open the doors at 6 p.m. The live broadcast should start around 7 p.m. We have live performances that are gonna be performing. Actually, Mina's gonna be performing as well, guys. So if you didn't know, now you know. If you didn't know, now you know. So again, tomorrow night at Sheba Lounge, which is which is also called Queen of Sheba. Forget which chapter it is, but it's the Mason Lodge on Springfield Avenue. So again, we're gonna be Ustream Live, Facebook Live. It's just gonna be crazy. The admission is free with a toy. We just need you to bring an unwrapped toy, and again, the toy or even gently used coats we are also accepting tomorrow night. So if you guys you can bring either a gently used coat or an unwrapped toy. And again, we're gonna be giving the toys and the coats away on December 17th at Boylan Street Recreation Center. That event is going to be from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. And that is courtesy of the Garden State cosplayers. This is actually a holiday Comic Con, so if you know anything about Comic Con, you guys definitely want to be there. The cosplayers, we appreciate them. We appreciate Councilman Joe McCullen and his team. Safe House Music, Boys Life, in Dear Jersey tour. I mean, everyone that's going to be a part of this, that's supporting this, we appreciate you guys, and we love you. And that's really about it. So we about to be off this, and hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow night. It's been real.
Hey, yo, what's up, man? It's God Rock here, man. Chillin', man. Yo, watching Champagne.
What's up, y'all? This is Big Meth right here. And y'all watching Champagne.
Jerv, stand up. It's your boy C. Luch, LOX, D-Block, man. Champagne TV, you already know. I'm gonna be hosting like game shows and shit on that shit.
What's up? This is your girl, Digga, birth name Rashia, and you are watching Champagne.
This is Red Man. I'm in the building. You already know. Shout out to the Champagne Room Radio Show, baby.
Y'all, this is Can't Go Kid from legendary rap group UTFO. And what you're doing right now is you're checking out the Champagne Room Radio Show. You heard?
Yo, this your boy Chris Rock from the old 50 Bull. And when I'm out chillin', I'm chillin' at the Champagne Room Radio with Tanya Champagne, getting it in Brick City style.
Yeah, what's up? This Trigger Trench here, nip, naughty nation, naughty by nature, doing it. Yo, you better check out the Champagne Room, cause we doing over my mama T. Yo, and it's gonna be real on and poppin', yo. Ask somebody, yo. Can't take you nowhere, that's why I take your ass everywhere. Tune in.
Welcome to the Champagne Room. Relax, I got you. Have you ever closed your eyes and gone to a special place in your mind? Can I take you there? Relax, let down your guard, unwind. It's been a long day and I know you deserve to feel good. So let's sip some champagne and take away the day before I make you feel like you should. Baby, I just wanna welcome you